Hey everybody, it's time for another Mini Mondays, and today I'm going to be talking about Nickelodeon's digital animated series, Space Kid and Cat. Now this is a 4-part mini-series of sorts that was created in 2018 by Greg Nix and David Kantrowitz, and it's available on Nickelodeon's YouTube channel, free to watch if anybody wants to see it. All 4 episodes are there. So this mini-series is about a kid who is named Space Kid, and a cat who is named Cat, who traveled the universe in a cardboard box and get into some shenanigans. That's the extent of everything in this. It's just a bunch of things. Now you might notice that this isn't really animated per se. It looks more like an animatic than an actual finished animation. It's sort of like if Final Space was made by a Storytime animator, and all of the sound effects, all of the voices are done by one person, possibly 2 people, but there's no music that isn't made like it's like that. So if you find that kind of stuff annoying, you won't even be able to last 10 seconds in something like this. I mean, really, I found it quite annoying. It's funny in something like Terminal Montage's videos or Serpello's videos. It's not funny in something like this, not necessarily, so if you like that kind of stuff, then that's fine, but personally I don't really care for it unless it's like super duper exaggerated. Then it's kind of funny. It's gotta be in the right context too. So what do I like about this little mini-series? Honestly, not that much. I wouldn't call it particularly original or funny or anything, really. I wouldn't really even call it very creative, to be honest, but that might not be particularly fair. Just from my perspective, it isn't particularly creative. It's just about a kid and a cat in space. But what's good about it, is that I kind of like the idea of flying around in space in a cardboard box. It's just so ridiculous that it makes me laugh. So that's something, I guess, and I don't really like that it's not animated so much. There are little bits and bobs of animation here, but the fact that it's more of a animatic than anything else just is kind of like, I don't know if it's a stylistic choice or if it's that the idea isn't really, made particularly, like it isn't really far into its production, but why is it an animatic? Like, why isn't it fully animated? This is a Nickelodeon thing, so I'm not entirely sure what that is. It's basically all white all the time. There's very little color in it. There's very little actual animation in it. So if it's an experimental thing, then sure, they probably didn't want to throw mad stacks of money at it. And I'm not saying I don't respect the effort. Anybody who, puts themselves out there and tries to make their idea work, if they're really small time or they don't have a big budget or whatever, I don't care. And I'm gonna be honest, the guy who made this, Greg Nix, actually emailed me and asked me to review it for him, which is why I'm doing it. So I don't know him personally. This isn't a favor or anything like that. I just feel like I should disclose that. I probably should have done that in the beginning, but that's it. So he asked me to review this, and while I don't think it's particularly good, and I don't think it's really for me at all, it's just a little bit too loud and obnoxious and kind of boring to me. That doesn't mean I feel like it's completely worthless. I would say watch it for yourself and see if it's something you enjoy. You might enjoy the humor more than I do. To me, it's very, in-your-face kind of humor. It's very much like, and I did this! And I did that! And this! And it's just like, shit, alright, well, it's just a little bit too on the nose for me. A little bit too shouty and obnoxious, but yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, I'd recommend giving it a watch. I mean, at the worst, you'll waste 12 minutes of your life doing it. I mean, it's not that big of a trade-off, honestly. And, supporting these people might make them, or allow them to make better projects in the future, who knows. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So now it's time for the special message, everybody, and I'm sorry to say, but this is going to be the final episode of Mini Mondays. Now, I know that might upset some of you, but the thing is that I just don't really like making them anymore. I find them to be very repetitive. It's hard for me to say things. Well, I am pretty good at improvisation and just sort of compiling my thoughts on the fly. It just gets very repetitive over time because I don't want to, overload people, and I'm not making them consistently either. It's just sort of like, oh, every couple of months, here this is again, So I am gonna discontinue this series. I don't think people will miss it too much, to be honest. I mean, nobody was clawing my door, you know, kicking me in the ass, saying, hey, where's Mini Mondays? So yeah, I'm sorry if that upsets you. It's gonna be the first of quite a few changes coming to my channel, but I'm gonna detail them. Starting with the next EyeofSol review is kind of when this stuff is really gonna start, but yes, so that's it for Mini Mondays. I hope you enjoyed all the videos I made in this series, or at least some of them. Maybe you found some entertainment in them, even though they were kind of repetitive. And I'm gonna be replacing it with something, so it's not just going away, and I'm not replacing it with, you know, nothing. It is going to have a video series replace it in the new year, but I'll detail that later. So, yes, from the bottom of my heart, thank you everyone who watched. Thanks to all the people who offered up their series and videos and stuff for me to review. I hope you enjoyed the videos that you got. And yeah, I guess I will see you when the new video series starts. You guys, thanks a lot, guys. And that's all I have to say about that.